Hey everybody, so yeah, I know, 2 videos in 2 days, look out, I'm going crazy. Um, I actually was just sitting there, I was responding to some comments on the last video, which I do apologize for disappearing right after I posted that, especially since I said I needed somebody to talk to. And I do thank all of you for your comments and offering to talk to me whenever. Last night after I posted up that video, I actually just kind of sat there and um, I read a little bit and I thought a little bit, and then I stared at the TV for about an hour, which actually made me feel a little bit better because I wasn't thinking. I was just taking in TV, which is kind of one of the reasons why I don't spend a whole lot of time watching TV, is because you don't accomplish much of anything. But I think that I had been thinking a lot and probably too much yesterday, and so having the ability to just go ahead and turn off for a short time was actually very beneficial. Anyway, today I was sitting there watching a video while I was responding to another comment on my last video, and a thought occurred to me. And now this is going to take a little bit of backstory, and uh, this isn't my story so much as just a couple of examples. Actually, there's one very specific example that I can think of. About 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now, I was involved in an online game that, not World of Warcraft, but a different one, and it ended up, I ended up moving up through the ranks from, just a person that played the game and was part of a tribe, and actually became one of the leaders of the tribe. And in the process of that, I had a lot of interaction with a particular female who was also one of the co-leaders of the tribe, and she and I spent a lot of time back and forth talking about the game, and then that turned into talking more and more about life. She actually lived over here in the Midwest, and I was living in Seattle. And after a very short amount of time, for lack of a better word and for lack of a better phrase, because I need you guys to understand how serious this was and how serious this issue is in my head. For lack of a better phrase, I fell in love with her extremely quickly, and I was not willing to move back across the country to be with her, but I was willing to spend almost all of my waking hours and all of my time talking to her. And basically the game became second to our interaction with each other. And it was part of it. I felt like maybe I was desperate. I felt like I needed someone so desperately and so badly, and someone to understand me and listen to my problems and care about my issues and care about my words, that I was willing to, go get into this online relationship with someone that probably was never going to go anywhere. No guarantee, but still probably wasn't going to go anywhere. And actually, let me rephrase. Let me add to that. Actually, let me finish that. It very quickly got to the point where issues in the game started causing issues between her and I, and there were some words that shouldn't have been said really between anybody, especially when you're just talking about playing a game. It's like if you lose friends while you're playing Xbox, then apparently you need to work on, how you interact with people when you're playing Xbox, because it's a game, people. And I have to tell my friends that all the time, the ones I do still play with. It's like, look guys, I understand that you're competitive, I understand you want to win, but when you call me a fucking idiot because I caused our team to lose because I died too many times, that makes me think that you're just a complete and total asshole. And if that's all the interaction that we're going to have is you calling me an asshole because I'm not as good at the game as you are, then I'll just not play the game with you. I'm perfectly fine with that. And then if that was all the interaction that we had, then that friendship goes down the tubes. Now, I've never done that, but unfortunately, I've been put in the position of having to choose many times, which friend do I want to play with more. And, usually the ones that I know in the real world are the ones that win every time, even if what they did was stupid. And I'll tell them, and I'll say, this is dumb. I can't believe that you guys actually got into this argument. I can't believe that I'm having to choose between playing with you or playing with this other person, but I'm going to choose you because you're my friend in the real world. And I also know that most of the people, when you play with them online, which I think everybody knows this, which is part of the facade that I'm trying to remove here on YouTube, is the person that you play with online, the person that you see in these videos, many times, not these videos, like I said, I'm trying to be as honest as I can here, but most of the time it's not the real person. This isn't how most of the people act in the real world. A lot of the people that are loud and brash and obnoxious are actually very quiet and docile and shy. Now, there are the people that are just complete and total fucking idiots out there that are that way in the real world, and they're that way online. And the anonymity of the internet allows them to continue and propagate's not the right word, but basically allows them to continue in that manner, because why not? I mean, if you're a jerk in the real world, being a jerk on the internet is like, it's your playground. I mean, hell, you can do it 2 times as much. You can be that much more of a jerk if you want to. So, anyway, backing up and then moving forward, I felt like I gave my affection away extremely easily to this girl. And, I mean, like I said, it turned into a night and day thing. I mean, she was on a different time zone than I was. I was working early hours, but it was, she had things that she was up for. I mean, it was just all the time I was pouring all of my energy into creating this relationship with this girl that, like I said, I more than likely had absolutely no realistic belief that I would ever be with her. And yet I spent all of that time, and I spent all of that emotion and expended all of that emotion on trying to curry her favor and gain her affection. Now moving a little bit forward, right before I moved back to Ohio, I've mentioned that there were the 3 different girls that I had, that I was talking to when I moved back, and I didn't know what was going to happen with any of them. But with one of them, I did kind of the same thing. We started talking. We found each other through Facebook. She's like, "Oh my God, Ed, is that you?" I was like, "Yeah, it's me." I was like, "Who are you?" And then she's like, "I'm me." And I was like, "Oh my God, you were 12 the last time I saw you." And that was not the age difference. She's not, I think she's like 25. So we hadn't seen each other since she was 12 and I was, 18 or so. And anyway, the same thing happened. I gave my heart away very, very quickly. I desired compassion, and I desired companionship so much that while she was not a part of the reason that I moved back, eventually I'll get to telling you guys that part of the story. It'll be my deconversion story, actually. While she's not part of the reason why I moved back, there was a very strong hope that if I endeared myself to her over the months prior to moving back and gave of my time, and I mean, there were a couple of times that I was at work, I should have been working, and I'm off talking on the phone to her for an hour and a half because she's having a down day. It's like there was that courting that people go through before. Well, you know what everybody's, when you talk to your guy friends or you talk to your girlfriends if you're a guy, and then eventually you're hoping that maybe it'll turn into something else. It'll go from a friendship to a relationship. But again, I gave my heart completely and totally to this girl, and this was only 2 years ago. Now, my point of all of this is that very recently, I would say over the course of the past 3 weeks to a month, I have felt that same pull, that same desire to give myself and give of my time to people that I've met here on YouTube, and people that I've talked to on YouTube, and people that I've seen on YouTube. And I know that this is now 9 minutes in, and I'm just now getting to the whole point of all of this. But my point is, hang on. Okay. My point is, I can't afford to go to counseling right now. I know that my parents would pay for me to go to counseling, but for me to start going to counseling right this second. And I mean, if I went tomorrow and I went every day until the day I left, I still wouldn't be able to get enough sessions in to get comfortable with somebody, make sure that I actually enjoy them as a therapist, and, you know, actually make some progress on things. I'm going to pause while the chopper goes by. So what I need from you guys is, and girls, I'm sorry, I use guys a lot. I don't know where that one came from. Probably in my upbringing. Guys was just, it's an asexual word in my mind. I don't say guys and mean patriarchally all the men. I don't care about the women. I'm not saying that. Guys is just something that I've picked up. I don't know, I probably have been using it for 30 years. So I apologize. I never mean anything sexist by it, and I never mean to exclude anyone, which is why a lot of times I'll say guys and girls. So what I need from you, the listener, is if anyone has any ideas as to why I'm doing this, why I get obsessed, I guess, with someone that doesn't necessarily return. I mean, sometimes the feelings are returned. Sometimes the feelings are mutual, but not always. And even when they're not returned, I continue to push forward. I push on, and I get to the point where I'm just tied up in this knot of, you know, I really want this person to like me. I want this person to talk to me. I want this person to be that companion and have that compassion for me. And, you know, and in the back of my mind, every damn time, I'm sitting there going, you know, maybe if this works out, then, you know, we could move closer together to each other, or, you know, I could move where they are, they could move where I am, whatever, and we can try and make things work. All from, you know, simple interaction or no interaction at all in some cases. So if you guys have any ideas as to why I do this, I would love to know why. I know that I may need to give more background information, and since I haven't been working on my Roaring 20s, you guys don't know all of my relationship history. And I don't want to ruin everything, but basically after the events of the girl that I got engaged to, I have been in 2 serious long-term relationships since then. So yeah, so over the course of the past, 8 years? 8 years I've been in a relationship with 2 girls, and one of them was, I think, about 3 years, and the other one was, close to 5. Might have been around 4, but anyway. So anyway, if anybody has any ideas as to what the hell's going on in my mind, and has some inside information, counselor information, that sort of thing, that would be greatly appreciated. Even if you only have opinion and you don't have any official training or anything like that, I don't care. I need help getting through this one, because this one's honestly driving me more nuts than just about anything else, because it's a pattern that I see, and I'm trying so desperately hard to break some of these patterns that I've been experiencing in my life for the past, 10, 15 years. So, fast talking for 13 plus minutes. I hope you guys are all, guys and girls, sorry. I hope everyone is having a wonderful evening, morning, night, whatever. I'm doing a little bit better today. I did talk to the lady about the person that I had the lead on finding another place for Scotch. She did mention that there was a possibility that she could hold on to him until I was able to take him back. I don't know if that's something that I'm going to explore, or if I'm going to try to just make the cut. I do want to explain to everybody, because I have been getting a lot of comments saying, try and keep Scotch as much as possible. He needs you, I need him. I understand that, and I think I put it most succinctly in one of my replies to the last video, which is, I used my dogs, which I had to, and now I just have Scotch. I used my dogs as an excuse to not have a life and to not go out and experience things. And if I move into another apartment and I keep him, then A, he won't have anywhere to run around. B, he'll be locked up for 8 to 10 hours a day, not counting any times that I go out and have some kind of social life. I'm afraid that I will fall back into that habit. Again, breaking patterns is the whole goal here. So the chances of me eventually ending up with him and keeping him are very, very, very slim. And that's because I don't want to fall into the same traps. So, anyway, there'll be more about that later, I'm sure. So now we're up to 15 minutes, and I will talk to you guys and girls soon. Have a good one.